rest assured that the social workers at whatever hospital she ends up at, they will all know us.
Oh, bless
Just like
them.
the last one.
They will all know us.
I actually got somebody's personal cell phone number, which you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, advocated and talked him into it, and then we didn't have oxygen and we needed oxygen.
Bad.
I don't know who was with me.
Me.
I got
It was
tripped.
Brittany.
Oh,
And I called him on his cell phone. I'm pretty sure he was in the bed.
Early in the morning.
No, he wasn't.
Sleeping.
yeah.
And I was like, hi, we need our oxygen, I mean, we definitely will go to all lengths to be sure that we're caring for her like Scott would,
Right.
if we're ever with her.
I'll carry tanks out of the hospital. I don't care. I'm like, no.
I think you did.
Yeah, I was about to
pretty-
say, I'm
I'm
pretty
pretty
sure y'all
sure.
stole some tanks.
That in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the wheelchair guy.
We
Yeah,
may or may
it
not
was the
have
wheelchair.
So, yeah, we definitely make our presence known when we're there, hopefully in a good way.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like, are you family? And I'm like, yes.
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 I'm
Can't
a
you tell
sister.
we're all related?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
The answer is
At
always.
this
I always tell them I'm
yes.
adopted and because Nabila would come around and,
Yeah.
clearly,
Yeah.
You can be like, we have lots of family drama. Just don't ask.
Yeah.
Wow. But I mean, her family is also why she is the way she is.
Mhm.
Yes.
Obviously, that's the core of her.
Mhm.
I mean, her parents. I mean, you don't
Mad
know
respect
it.
to Nabila,
Yeah.
Oh.
honestly.
We
She
We
put
were
up with
rotten
us.
to her in high school.
we give her
were
so much.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
I picked her up
pranked
to go
her.
swimming. Remember, you weren't supposed to swim
Oh.
at night
Yeah.
because
For
she
good
could get
reason.
sick.
Yeah.
And but we're 16. And I'm like, I call her. I live 3 streets over. I'm like, I'm on my way. I do not want to talk to your mother. Pack your swimsuit and I'll pick you up.
Oh, well, because mom will come. Wait,
And
I know
she comes running out.
And where are you going? Where are you going?
The car would still be moving, and Selwa
Someone's
would
jumping in.
jump into a moving
But
vehicle.
I mean, but then we have kids.
Yeah.
And now we
I
get
know.
And
why
then you're
she
like,
was.
oh, my
can you
gosh.
imagine?
Oh, my
That's when we
gosh.
started really appreciating Nabila because we were like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, she did all the right
Amazing.
things.
Well,
All
I'm
the
like,
right
how
things.
mean are we that we were like, your mom doesn't want you to go swimming? Well, we're swimming. So you're swimming. So,
No, I mean, I think that
No.
her family is the
Your
way
brother.
that they
and tolerated
all
us.
of them tolerated us, but the way that they
Oh,
just
but they love you guys.
treated
so
her
much.
like she
And
was
they-
normal.
yeah.
and that's why she has such a amazing.
Yeah, my
perspective.
mom. I mean, y'all are her girls. They're my
Mhm.
girls. These are my girls. I love them.
I do love
She
her.
would come up in college on the weekend, Saturday morning, literally. We'd all be just getting home, hungover, whatever. And here comes Nabila knocking, Brit,
Wake up.
Brit, open the door.
I have grape leaves.
She come with the ice chests.
Yeah.
And she would have cooked the day before this huge
Oh.
feast because she's Lebanese,
Yeah.
right? She shows her love through food, and we loved her food.
Mm.
And she would come in, and I mean, it was such a treat for her to be there. We at the time we were like, oh my god, but and Joe would sit in his chair, and they'd just come check on her, just kind of get a little litmus test
And
of how
we'd
she's doing.
Eat all the grape leaves and the
Oh my
I mean, the
gosh.
chicken soup.
My
thing.
chicken
They're
soup.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was good for the hangover.
We've grown so respectful for Nabila
Yeah.
over as
I mean, I
we've
think we
grown.
always were.
We
We've
were.
always loved her,
Oh,
but you don't
100%.
realize what it's like
what
to
it's
have a
like
child.
to have a
Exactly.
child.
And
Yeah. Well, that's why I say all this all the time. Is like I had 2 healthy children.
Mhm.
Right.
I don't know how.
I don't know
my
how your mom
did
did
it.
it. Or your father did it. I don't know.
Yeah.
they did it because you're so unbelievable.
Right.
'Cause-
But they made you.
yeah, they did me.
And Paul was always just a sweet,
Yes.
he's
supportive
brother,
supportive
brother.
He's so cool. He would make me run like around the track and stuff when I was, and I'd be like, I can't run. Really? Can I run? He's like, yeah, you can run. That's right. And he taught me how to spit, because I was like, because when you run, you have to clear your lungs, and I was like, I don't know how to spit, and he's like, okay, this is he taught me how to run around the track. So, and that's how I really do think running helped me a lot.
I do.
So
When you were
I was
younger.
even able to have children because I did run and I was so active.
Mhm.
So,
I
yeah.
cannot believe that. And it's still, it's all of it. I mean, life expectancy till 7.
Yeah.
And then
Here we are.
here we are.
Mhm.
Well, yeah,
know.
and I mean, even the pregnancies. I mean, they were
Oh,
like, "You're not gonna
that's-
make it,"
Oh.
Right.
And I mean, we were like, "Yes, she will.
She will.
She's making it."
I remember you
but,
deciding to have Mitch, and you were like, or before that, and you were like, I was sitting in my driveway, and you were like, I'm going to do it. I know I'm not supposed to, but I'm going to. I'm going to have another baby. And I was like,
What did you say?
okay,
Okay.
okay,
Okay,
because she had made her mind up and then known,
Yeah.
Well, I
This is-
felt it.
Yeah.
And I think you felt that way with Everett.
I did.
So every time I would place the table, I was like, there's supposed to be 4, not 3, 4. And I think you were the same way. Like, 'cause, I mean, Everett was a surprise or you know, a gift, and but Mitch, he wasn't supposed to happen,
And you were so healthy when you were.
I was.
Yeah, you were really healthy with Mitch.
But
Which was it?
where Bella, you were not as healthy.
Bella, it was scary.
Oh.
I get why my doctors were like, no,
Yeah,
no.
I think you weighed 108 pounds the day you delivered.
Oh, yeah. She's not very fun being pregnant next to you.
No. At Amy's wedding.
And by the way, we have the same, like, Selwa and our oldest girls, Bella and Ava, are the exact same due date.
So you were pregnant the exact
Yes, and
same
they were
time.
in her wedding.
And and guess what?
In a bridesmaid's dress.
I had to sew a panel into mine, and then you've got
extra
trying
small.
to stick it out, you know, so you can see it. And I'm like waddling down the aisle,
literally like cradling hers, and like so you can tell like.
Trashmore's
Poor
Audi was
Ashley.
poking me in the back.
I was
Standing
so
at the
pregnant.
wedding.
But I, for real, think you weighed 110 pounds the day you delivered.
Tiny.
You were in the hospital a month.
Yeah, the afterward. Yeah, well,
Before.
Yeah,
But that's
And
also
I was
crazy.
there
We
and
had
saw
the same
it.
due date.
yeah.
That is
so crazy.
That is
Like you can't even plan that.
You
And
can't
that
plan
was
it.
both of your first.
So
Yes.
yeah, both of our first, and then our seconds are exactly 3 months
3
apart.
months
Wow,
Mhm.
what the heck?
And I didn't know I was pregnant because, anyways, it's a long story.
With Ava.
With Ava, my first, and she kept talking through her symptoms, and I was like, "That is exactly how I feel."
Well, she
you
took
know,
a
You thought you had
pregnancy
cancer.
test.
like
I kept
8
taking pregnancy
pregnancy
tests, and they
same.
were negative.
Yeah.
Ashley's like, I've got
She
cancer.
thought she had diabetes.
No, I said you had vertigo. Remember?
Yeah, we were
I'm like,
trying to
you definitely have
diagnose
vertigo.
me. And then, like, I didn't find out till like 10 weeks that
Yeah.
I truly was pregnant. And then, so it was just kind of funny.
Yeah,
So
because
we
I
did have
remember
that
being
journey
on
together.
the phone with you, and you were telling me your symptoms. Like,
That's exactly.
that's how I feel. And I was like, "Are you sure?" But I mean, again, you took tests.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
all my babies, a pregnancy test don't work on me. Is that not weird? I'm the 0.1%.
Only
Well,
Trashmore.
Yeah.
So you would take
of course.
it. You would take it, and it would say negative, and
Negative.
you were
Yeah, I was
I was
pregnant.
pregnant.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, all the way through, even when I was like 6
Even
months
though-
pregnant.
Yes.
You would take it, and it
Mhm.
wouldn't. What?
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah,
went,
not
you
lying.
came home
I've
from the
never
doctor and
heard
took
of
another one. and it was
Bionic
negative.
TT.
Wow.
You just said bionic.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
anyhow, just a weird fact. Not
Yeah,
sure how that plays into the conversation.
fun fact. A fun
Oopsies.
It's
fact.
probably good for people to know.
I mean, it's
It can happen.
Yeah. Surprise.
Did you take the thing off the end to pee on it?
I know. It's a good question. But I did
It's a
know what
fair
I was
question.
doing.
It's
fair.
That's a valid question.
Ashley, yeah.
Should we talk about the
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was guilt. Like even in that situation for me, I just felt so guilty
Yeah.
that I was having, you know what I mean, a healthy situation.
Mhm.
You know, and sometimes it is like you're just like, God, like, can you give something to me?
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And take it away from her.
No.
And I know that's nothing
No,
she
yeah.
does because she's just, but I mean, it's just human to feel like, how can like all
Right.
these things, you know? But I
Because she
think,
was very sick with
yeah.
Bella.
I
Yeah,
think
she
God
was-
obviously chooses those that can show his light, you know, in a
Mhm.
way
That's
that
true.
others can't. And sometimes, unfortunately, that comes through really hard battles.
But God also gives you the people to help you get through them.
Right.
And, you know, y'all are my gifts from God, for sure.
Sorry.
I feel like we underdelivered.
Yeah,
I know.
Sold
Brittany's like,
short.
wait a second, do I need to apologize for this?
Not at all.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sitting here today because of you guys, hands down. I mean, especially get through that second one. And then
Yeah.
now, what's great, like we're ready for the third, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I mean, we've
I'm
talked
like,
about it.
They're
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
done this.
And you're being proactive.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so this is going to be hard,
Mhm.
but
Yes.
it's going to be another beautiful story
Mhm.
and miracle.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of, you know, I like to look at it as being expectant of all the things that are going to happen and all the miracles that are going to happen,
Yeah.
and just, you know, when the timing's right, and just seeing you again wake up and be able to have that breath again.
Can't wait.
I know, I know.
There's nothing more beautiful
There
to see
isn't.
that
It is,
number.
yeah.
Like, that's what we keep saying. Like, you just wait for your 101.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
Aw.
101.
We'll be
you
there.
know, I mean, it's coming and
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to breathe, thinking about it.
Yeah.
it's coming.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and then again too, though, is I'm not scared and I'm excited, But the reason is because I have you guys to fight this with me. And I mean, I wish y'all could understand how much
Do
that I
you-
could only do this.
Do
with
you
y'all.
ever get tired?
Oh, yeah. I'm exhausted. I think we all get exhausted though, right? Aren't we all tired? No,
It's
And when I
different.
get tired, I'm like, well, why should I be tired? Like,
Yeah.
Selwa's not tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired, but I'm okay. You know, I'm okay. So, as long as I have you guys, and y'all know when I go dark, y'all can just come over and bring me
We'll
a little
crack the door.
Madeline. And, yeah, we'll crack the door.
And she does the same thing for us.
She
Do you know what I
does.
mean? We're really
100%.
focused on like us doing this. You know, I mean,
Right.
she knows when we go dark, she's our biggest cheerleader. I mean, you know,
She's
I
such an
think
encourager.
a story for
Mhm.
Selwa is my mom was sick and my kids needed a journal. And she's like, sent.
Mm.
They wanted to read her
Mhm.
scripture.
I know, I love
And
that too.
Sel was like, I was just texting them about it. And she was like, it's in the mail. It'll be on your porch tomorrow.
Well,
So
I just love that.
it's not
Preston
like
Infinity.
she does so much for us.
Mhm.
Not even just showing us miracles, but just in our friendship, she is
Well,
very,
I was gonna say you guys go through your life
Right.
too,
And
your
she's right
struggles.
there.
Yeah.
and she's the first one to, if she's not able to go somewhere or be somewhere, she
Mhm.
will be the first one to send something. So
Well,
she is.
I wish I could be there, like y'all could be there for me. But then I'm so thankful that I
Right.
don't have to be there for you
Right.
in that way, because y'all can take deep breaths, and that makes me happy.
Well, and your perspective is so encouraging because you know when you go through a hard time, you know exactly what to say, you know, and it's always the right thing. It's exactly what I needed to hear, you know, and that's what's so. I mean, that's what's so wonderful and encouraging that
And
you're.
yeah, she's so kind. She truly is the kindest,
kindest-
person.
Sometimes
I've
where I'm
ever
like,
met.
okay, so let me be mean for a second.
Yeah. And I
please.
mean,
Like,
it's
this
and
girl
that,
is in that dress and it's not cute. You do not need to be kind about that.
but I mean, she's the most judge free.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You know, no gossip, like just
Always
at
looking
her
for the
core,
positive
kind
in
about
everything.
everybody.
Yeah.
And you know, I really like everyone tells me I have RBF all the time, you know. So I mean, like I'm always like,
She
okay,
does.
I need to smile like Selwa. I need to smile like Selwa because she's always smiling,
Mhm.
you know, and she has such a beautiful smile.
I think that's what the
But-
draw is, you know. I mean, you make everybody feel special, and
Yes, she does.
no matter what, like somebody, you just make everybody feel. I think that's when I first met you. What I was so shocked by because I had never met anybody like you that had been so unconditionally like loving and genuinely kind.
You're
and-
easy to
kind.
love. You're easy to love.
dude. I had you fooled. But, you know, it's just I don't know. It's an awesome trait because that is so rare.
Right.
I think just dealing with what I deal with every day, like all those little things just don't matter.
Yeah.
You know, and when you're just happy to breathe, like
Yeah.
everything else just kind of, falls into place, and you're just like, I'll smile all day long if I can breathe.
Mhm.
So,
Well, it's also in her words. Like I remember when I first saw her page and her first writing, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What? Who is this person? Like,
Mhm.
it's so touching and so teaching and so encouraging to
Eh.
people that don't even know her.
Mhm.
Like, I think I don't know when she came across my page. I have no idea. Just remember following her and reading and being inspired every time. And
Well, I think there's not a lot of education on cystic fibrosis. And for my mom and I danced with a girl who had it. And my mom was very involved in the cystic fibrosis charity. And I had heard of it for so long, but not a lot of people know it. A friend of mine yesterday, she was like, I actually dated someone in college for like 3 days or went on a few dates and he said he had that. And she was like, I have no idea what that is. Like, there's just not a lot of, nobody knows. And you look so amazing. So then people don't know how sick you are.
that's an invisible disease is
Yeah.
how they refer
Mhm.
it. Yeah.
People don't even understand. Like when you say it, they're like, what is that? What even is that? What does that mean?
and then when you say it, some of them look at you like,
Mhm.
yeah,
but
they
you know
have
they
no
don't
clue.
know.
Right.
Yes.
No clue.
Yeah.
It's also one that everybody has it different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And
Yes,
so
true.
it's like you can't really. I mean, like some
Her
people might
journey's
have
different.
more, stomach,
Yes.
issues.
Oh, yeah, I
Some
didn't
think
maybe
about
have
that.
the cough worse, or their lungs are
Yes.
worse. So that's another reason why I think it's a really hard disease, because I'm sure it is hard to really feel like you find someone that knows exactly what you're going through, you know, because it's also different.
It's like my friend's daughter. She, at the time, I met her when she was 2, and she wasn't supposed to live through her teenage years, and she's about to be 35 years old. And so I know how much progress cystic fibrosis science, medicine has done. And
I mean, we were doing the cystic fibrosis walks. We did so much with cystic fibrosis. That's why it's so crazy that we're here and telling so much about it, because we just we've known someone who has it for
in a
very
very
time.
Close relationship. So that's why I followed her instantly. I mean,
and you inspire her, by the way. She's like your biggest fan.
Yes.
Just so you know. And she
says she's your biggest fan. And I just had lunch with her mom last week, and we talked about you. And I remember a long time ago, she would have never considered a lung transplant. And so I asked the question. I said, where is she now? With you, the hope is like that now she feels different. So that is incredible. You don't, I bet you don't even know how many people you reach.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I love that, because the 5 years or 6 years that I have gotten from the transplant is a gift. I mean, so I love that she can maybe consider that, because even though the journey's crazy, every day counts.
Yes.
And I've just been so blessed for every day that I've had with my children and my friends. And I mean, I almost didn't get to have that.
Yeah.
So I'm not supposed to be here right now.
Right.
And so the fact that I am, it's awesome.
You're going to make history.
Yeah.
I know it.
Fifth transplant.
We're waiting on
We're
that.
here for
We're
it.
waiting.
We're here for it.
Please no.
No, I know. We need a break for a little bit after the third.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's interesting, though, how many people that are inspired by you and by the things that you put out and share about yourself online. And I know that isn't an easy thing to do. I'm someone who I don't share anything online. I'm like the complete opposite, and it gives me anxiety to even think about that. But what it takes to share something meaningful, it isn't just wrapping out a few sentences and posting it. You know, like she digs deep from within her soul,
You can
and the
tell.
things that she's putting out there are meaningful. And sometimes I worry about her, because I know like there's a cost behind digging that deep, right? And like, what does it take, you know? And I picture her like late at night, like she can't sleep, and she has all these things in her mind, and she's, you know, some of it I know is a release to just get your thoughts out. But then I know what's so amazing about her is that she does care about so many other people. Right. And she's not putting this out there just for her or just for her family. She's putting it out there because she knows, what if it can help one person? What if it can help somebody's mom who has just received this diagnosis, you know? And it takes a special kind of person to want to share at that level. And to be able to do it so beautifully. Because Selwa, 17-year-old Selwa, was not writing
challenge program.
She wasn't writing.
She went for English.
That isn't what I mean. Amy's our writer.
She wasn't.
That isn't what I mean.
She
That
was
isn't
doing
what I mean.
math.
I'm just saying.
She
Like,
was mathing.
Counting.
it isn't easy. It isn't easy, and especially to make it look so beautiful and so effortless, and have it actually mean something. And so I know that, it's just a beautiful thing, and I know it's hard. It's not as easy as she makes it.
Yeah. And I think it's part of her healing journey.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we were talking about this on the way over in the car. I mean, I remember the first time she posted something on Facebook.
She called me.
Because, you know, for so long, it was just a private, you know, struggle. And like, you know, and we would keep it private. It was just kind of with your family. Yeah. And I will never forget. And I don't know if you remember the first time you did, but I remember calling Courtney and being like, did you see?
And we're like, are we sharing this? I didn't know we were sharing.
But it was like such a huge moment.
It was.
Because I find it to be, she finally was confident in herself to be vulnerable.
Right.
You know,
100%.
and that is like something that I'm still learning, you know, and that's probably what I'm trying to learn from her the most right now is just like how to be vulnerable, in situations, and because that's really how you grow.
Well, I learned that this isn't my vulnerability; it's my strength. And I think once I accepted cystic fibrosis as a strength and understood, because you guys do like lift me up and tell me how strong I am, y'all made me believe in myself. And I think so once I got behind myself and said, okay, if I can do this, and it was like you said, it is therapeutic. And I do remember that post. It was like, what, 15 years ago, maybe?
Wow.
And I there was something in my heart that just needed to get out. And I had a lot of thoughts.
Well, because I think a lot of people we went to school with didn't quite understand. And we weren't sharing it with them. If they talked to us, we were like, well, that's her, that's her journey. That's her story. That's not my story to tell. And so it was kind of, when it happened, I can remember Ashley and I were on the phone like, oh.
Like in a good way.
In a good way. Like,
oh my gosh.
Well, she hadn't said anything to us. And then I was like, okay.
But it is like what Amy said. There would be times, especially before transplant, that I'd feel so bad in my own skin, like just achy and just I couldn't breathe. And it would be like 3 a.m. And I had all these thoughts in my head of just what I was dealing with and feeling. And I would write them all out and then I'd go to sleep. And it was almost like I was it's my prayer in a way. It was my meditation. And then I think it was something on Facebook. It wasn't like top 10 things you do, da, da, da. And everyone was like, yeah, I drink Dr. Pepper. And I drink, but mine was like, I wish I could breathe. I wish all mine were just, they weren't very superficial. They were very deep because that's me. Because I'm not dealing with like my favorite thing is Dr. Pepper. Right. I'm dealing with my favorite thing is breathing. And so yeah, and it helped. And because y'all were so supportive, I was able to continue being able to kind of share my thoughts. And it is hard. And I do feel stupid sometimes.
I don't know why. It's beautiful. It's a gift. You have a
gift.
talent.
That's really what draws everybody in.
Oh, like God, like you can't stop.
I won't
right?
quiet my mind
until it's released.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's God pushing her too, right?
Well, there'll be times that I will write it and I don't even know what I wrote. And then I'll go back and read it and I'm like, I wrote that? And then I'm like, oh wait, I didn't. He did. So it's like, it's very supernatural sometimes. So yeah, and therapeutic, and I'm just appreciative that people want to read it and understand it, and it makes me thankful.
Well, and the power of prayer. You talk about this all the time. So the more people pray, the more miracles we're gonna see.
It's so
I believe that.
I feel them. I feel them, especially like even when I'm quiet for a while and I don't ask for prayers, I kind of feel like, going into that dark spot again. And then I'm just like, okay, I need a post to kind of tell everyone how I'm doing and then ask for prayers. And then I feel so much better because there is the power of prayer for sure. So I feel it.
Now, I know I asked this very late, but I asked your friends to write a letter. So I don't know who had time.
What? Oh, no.
I'm like,
who has it? And
like,
who would like to read?
I know Courtney probably didn't.
No.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
I don't know if anyone.
I don't know.
So I started yesterday at the nail salon, literally, and I was like, so sitting there, and I was like, I've got this. I mean, how many wonderful things could I wrap this up in? Like just talking about you, and I got to, how do I even start this? And then in my note, I have it on my phone. How do I even start this? What do I even say? How could I even sum this up? Like, what words could adequately express? And literally, I left it at that. And I just sat there, and in my head,
that is right.
Just I spent that whole time just thinking about all the wonderful things, and I couldn't get it into words. So I don't know. I mean,
but that's how I feel about our friendship.
Yeah,
I get it. Like you cannot put our experiences eventually one day we will have to, right? But it's hard to put it into words.
Well, I think even explaining it to people, I'm like, oh, those are my friends from, because we all have separate friends outside of this friend group. And I mean, we have friends we talk to even more than these friends. But
they're cool too. But,
they're really cool. I love them. And I need them. We all need them.
Yeah.
But this group is different. And there's no jealousy of like your friend groups outside of this friend group. And so it's hard for people to understand it. And so it's hard for us to even write a letter about it because these are my people. And when I need someone at 2 a.m. or I need someone to come and pray with me, not even about anything I can tell you about. And I may never tell you about it. I may go my entire life and never tell you the biggest thing that happened in my life. You may never know, but they don't care to know. They just know that we need to. So a letter is very hard to explain this.
Well, isn't it? Yeah.
No, I just was going to say, I find it interesting that that's how you started because that's like almost verbatim what I was writing out as well. And
I love that.
And it's interesting because, yeah, you get to a point where you say, how do you sum up decades of amazing memories? You know, and when I say amazing, I mean the good, the bad, the ugly. They're all the things that feed into, you know, the backstories, just the threads that hold us and this friendship together. And it's intimidating. It's like I can't even begin to pull the string because there's so much that unravels with it. And I think that I don't know. It's hard.
Well, I think when people say unconditional, they say, "Oh, my friendship's unconditional." Well, it's real. Most friendships you'll find later down the road, like, "Oh, that was a 5-year friendship, and now it like this is
friends for a season."
Yeah.
And those are important too.
And those are very important friends.
Yeah.
You know, not to discount those friends. But this is unconditional.
Isn't it like it's like bury the body, ask questions never? Like, I mean, I just feel that's like we'll just
Which we would do.
Somebody may put the suit on. That can happen.
Yeah.
And I was laughing about this with Ashley yesterday when I called to be like, yeah, I get here at this time and etc. And I hadn't heard her voice in a long time, her actual voice. Like, we haven't
text a lot.
spoken, but we're never out of communication.
Right.
Like, we text, if not every day,
Right.
at least every week. You always know what's going on. There's never a moment where I feel like, because I haven't lived here in almost 19 years.
Wow.
That's
Yeah, it's been a while, 18 years. So I go through moments when I feel far away from them physically, and I wonder, like, FOMO, really, basically. Like,
yeah.
Well, you know,
did you have a lunch and not tell me? Because I would have flown in if I had known. But there's never a moment that feels like we're disconnected. Like,
No.
I always know we're right back where we always are, even if it's been a while. Like, literally, Ashley, I was like, oh my God, and we get into the business immediately. Like, there's no like,
There's
hey,
no,
how are
how's
you?
your
Like,
week?
da 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 da. What are you wearing? Like,
There's no
there's
small
no
talk.
niceties
No small
at the
talk.
beginning of it. It's like you jump into the business immediately. Like it was yesterday. Like I
Right.
literally talked to her yesterday, and it's the same exact way when I talk to
Everyone.
any of them. And that's
Very special.
that's the essence, I guess. That's the